Hello, welcome everybody. This is Pat from the American Dream Investor channel. Today we are with Mr. Gavin, and he's one of our partners and he's a realtor. Now, my question is, Gavin, welcome to our channel.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you to explain people that, they don't know they're investors from the outside. What is a realtor here in the USA?
Basically, a realtor is somebody who has a real estate license, but has also joined the association, the National Association of Realtors here in the US.
Okay, so it's somebody that basically helps people to buy properties and invest.
Who is licensed to buy properties here, to help people buy properties here in the US.
That's good. And Gavin, in order to understand exactly how does it work, the process of buying a property here in USA through you, so a professional realtor, for somebody coming, from the outside.
So basically, the process here in the state of Florida is, you find a property you like, you make an offer on it, the seller will accept or counter the offer, and once you come to terms, you agree on price, the date of closing, the date you're actually going to purchase the property, then an inspection period begins. Typically, the inspection period is anywhere from 5 to 15 days. Obviously, the more time you have, the more time you need, to do inspections, the more time you want, so 15 days is good. During the 15-day inspection period, you can do any inspections you want, from home inspection, termite inspection, structural inspection, whatever inspections, and during that 15-day period, if you find something with the house that you do not like or would not expect, you can walk away with your deposit. When you put a contract down, usually you put a deposit down just to tell the seller, hey, Mr. Seller, we're serious about buying your property. Typically that's around $1,000, sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's less. And then after the 15-day inspection period, you've done all your inspections on the property. From then, it's just making sure that the money's there. The title company is a go-between between the buyer and the seller. And the title company basically guarantees that the buyer gets a clean title to the property. There's no past liens, no encumbrances, there's no problems with the property.
Just a second, because this is a second important passage. So basically, between you and the buyer, there is a third party, which is a title company.
Yes.
What is exactly a title company?
The title company is actually an insurance company, but what it does is it guarantees that the title to the property going from the buyer to the seller is free and clear, and that the buyer gets what's called equitable title, which means the property is worth full value. There's no previous liens or no previous problems from any of the previous owners. There's no encumbrances over the property lines, that the property is with the value that you say it is. There's an insurance policy on it also, so if anything ever did come up in the future, there would be an insurance policy on it.
So that's really good, guys, because we don't know anything broad about title company. So there's this third party, which is really important. Typically, Gavin, how long does it take on an average closing to get the property?
Typically, the typical closing is between 30 and 45 days. It depends on, if you're paying cash, it can be quicker. If you're financing, sometimes it's about 30 days, but the typical closing is between 30 and 45 days.
That's good. So basically, there is like a professional person here in USA and a title company. So everything is pretty simple. Sometimes it's amazing because we know how long does it take to close a property in Europe, and the costs are relatively cheap. So he said the average deposit is $1,000.
$1,000.
And is that true? There are some stories in your world that there are some people that actually close some property with just putting $1 as a deposit.
I'm sure it's been done. I've seen it done with no money, with no deposit money. However, the more the deposit money is, it's the more sincere you are about purchasing the property. So especially if you're going to negotiate a really difficult price, you're really going to ask the seller to reduce the price to a certain level, it's always a good idea to put a bigger deposit down, because it says, yes, I'm going to beat you up on the price, but I'm very serious about buying this. And if something goes wrong, you get the deposit back anyways. So
this is a good piece of advice, because obviously, you know, if you want to get the property, and you have to put yourself into the seller's shoes, because obviously, you know, you can walk away anytime.
During the first 15 days, you can walk away for any reason.
Yeah, you can walk away. So basically, you know, you have to be serious, and the more deposit you put, you know, more chances you're going to have to get the
That's
property.
correct.
Then, Gavin, there is another thing that I found out here in the US, which was quite amazing, especially for somebody coming outside. What is it? A owner finance.
Owner finance basically is a situation where the seller of a property owns the property free and clear. And where instead of you going to a bank or using a lending institution to get money to buy the house, you just pay the seller back like the bank. They have what's called a note. It's a mortgage note on the property, and you just pay them back every month. It's a great way to buy properties. You can sometimes get a better deal at a bank. I've done it several times. It's good. It's a little hard to find because you got to find somebody who owns the bank outright, owns the property outright. But there's also what's called subject to, where I can buy Patrick's property subject to Patrick's existing financing. I just go ahead and pay Patrick's mortgage like I'm Patrick, and I assume the property, I assume control of the property, and then sometime down the future I either pay it off or refinance it, but there's also subject to the existing financing.
This is quite interesting. We're going to discuss with Gavin, even remotely, because we're going to have, you know, other interviews. He's quite professional, knowledgeable guy, and I mean, it's part of our team, because there are some good ways of getting properties here in USA that we don't even have in mind in Europe, and this is great. God bless USA. I'd like to ask Gavin, you know, another question, especially for an investor point of view. Gavin, those ones who buys property from you, and I mean, maybe they are vocational homes, or maybe, you know, they're just people that got money sitting in their bank accounts and they want to use it. After they purchase the property through you, will you be able to help them in renting it out?
My job is very clear. My job is to protect my clients' money. We take people's money, we buy properties, we show them how to identify good properties. We use our staff that I've been investing for over 20 years. I've got all of the staff that can do any kind of maintenance repairs, and then we manage them in-house. And every month we send a statement saying, here was what the rent income, there was repairs, there was no repairs, bam, here's your money for the month. And it's an automated website where you can look in anytime and see what's going on with your property. Yes, we can manage.
So that's great, guys. So basically, you don't just have a professional realtor, but you got a property manager in front of you. Last question, Gavin, the very last one. We got a lot of things to talk about, but we will end it up this interview with this one. What happens if one day, you know, they fed up? So, you know, they came here like different times, on holidays with their families, or they have to sell this property. Will you be able to help them in selling the property?
Yes. If somebody calls up and says, hey, we want to sell our property, I send you the paperwork. You can sign it digitally. Once we get the paperwork, we get it on the market. We get the professional photographers out there. We do everything we can do to make the property look the best and to get the highest return on your investment. And then the property's sold and the money's wired to the owners.
That's great, guys. So this is a really turnkey service. And I want to thank you, everybody. I want to thank, first of all, Gavin, for being here with me. And if you got any question, you know, you can send us an email. You know, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you, Gavin, and see you soon.
Anytime.
In another show. It's part from the American Dream Investor channel. See you next time.